here goes the last one. And now let's take a look if they work like usual. Need to make sure everything is fine. That everything is running smooth. Well, come on. Why are you stuck? Doesn't want to open. Second try. Now it worked. Okay. That seems fine. Looks a little darker than for me, but it's fine. Anyway, quality's a little better this time. I messed around with some of the settings on my camera, so it looks a little bit better now. Well, honestly, it's majorly better now. Let me check my other stream. Beautiful. That works fine. And now Twitch. Still unstable. Don't know why it always says unstable. I also have no idea why it's so much more contrasted on Twitch. But alas. Okay, that's good enough. Cool. So, don't have too much of a plan of what I'm going to be doing today. Because I'm trying to focus on the most important things that we have to do. Hold on, let me click record as well. So I'm trying to focus on what's most important. Man, I'm a little bigger on the vertical stream now, because otherwise I can't fill the space because of how I have the camera set up. Hopefully it's not too daunting. Well, it won't be in this view the whole time anyway. But yeah, I thought, you know, let's just look around for some more leads. Might as well make our list as long as possible for when we're actually gonna start reaching out once the emails are finished warming up, which they almost are. Good day to you too. How are you doing? Hope everything is great. So yeah, we'll get a few more leads. The emails are almost warmed up, so we're gonna start sending outreach very soon. Hey, Epic Guy, what's up? Welcome. So yeah, that's the plan. I might upgrade some of the lead scrapers that we have to make sure that we get a little bit more out of them. I might show you how to do that. I'm good. What's your deal? Never been here before. Well, I welcome you here. So what we're doing is basically, I started a business about a couple months ago, and I created my offer and everything like that, and I was getting ready to do outreach, and I thought, you know what? Wouldn't it be cool if I showed all of the stuff that happens behind the scenes? Because I've never seen that before. I see a lot of gurus. Hey, AB. I do remember you. Don't worry about that. Hey, that Katie. What's up? Hey, everybody. Yeah, so I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I showed everything that happens behind the scenes? Because I've never seen anybody do that. I see a lot of gurus that are out there that, like, you know, they make you feel like they're giving you good information, but that they're not. They're just trying to funnel you into some kind of course. Or they're trying to scam you, you know, get your attention. Or, you know, get a bunch of people to, like, fall into their trap so that they feel like they need to rely on them. But I've never seen anybody do something like this where they actually show what they're doing. They always talk about stuff they have done. But I thought, I'm gonna show actually what's happening. So since last week, this is day 8, I started streaming all of the important stuff that goes on in the business. And obviously I don't do everything on stream because it can get a little bit distracting at times and I wouldn't get as much done. So I don't do everything, but whatever I don't do on stream, I let everybody know what I did the day before and whatnot. Hey, Ans, what's up? So yeah, that's what this is about. So today, I don't really have too much of a plan of what I'm doing. I almost never do with these things because it's kind of like, you know, got to focus on the most important stuff. But today I thought maybe we'll get a few more leads from Google Maps. with some of the systems that we've built already to prepare for the outreach, because we're waiting for one of the software we're going to use to warm up our emails. And then once that's done, we're going to start reaching out. So that's going to be a lot more interesting. Once we start getting people, I have a call actually scheduled tomorrow with a potential client. And I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to do sales calls. I would like to do them live, but it's a little risky because I don't want to, give away anybody's identity. And although I can use stuff like voice changers and whatnot, I'm a little bit worried about them saying something about their business or who I'm talking to. Like maybe they say their business name by accident or they say their full name by accident. It's a little unpredictable. So I don't have that set up yet. I had a few ideas, like maybe I could record it in the back end and not play their side of the audio. So while we're live for the sales call, it would just be me and you would hear me and how I'm replying to stuff. So you wouldn't hear the other person. And then since I'm recording to my side, I can then edit it down. And then maybe the next day, what we could do is maybe on live, or I was thinking maybe I could upload a video where I'm breaking it down, but we could also do that. I could record the live, I could record the call, change the voice, edit it how it needs to be, and then the next day, we could go on the live and review the edited down version that I have, and I could go through what I was thinking, how it all went and whatnot, because again, privacy is a big issue. I don't want to, do anything that might destroy somebody's privacy. That's quite important. So I think that might be the best bet. Maybe I would record it down to my computer and then get rid of everything that could, that's anything related to their business or who they are, change their voice, etc. And then the day after or whenever I'd be able to do it, we could do like a live reaction where I could break down what I did, what mistakes I think I made, what I could have done better. And I think that could be a good learning opportunity for me and for anybody who watches. So we might do it that way. Yeah, doing good, bro. What's up, bro? Everything's great. I'm doing great. Today's a good day. Every day's a good day. Everything is awesome. Keep some stuff private as much. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I will. Like, I'm not, I'm not gonna just record if somebody doesn't want me to. I would preface like, hey, can I record? So don't worry about that. I would still get rid of all of the privacy stuff, but yeah, so that's the idea that I have for that. Voice changer is a good option, but keeping privacy is paramount. Yeah, of course. You shouldn't stream the sales call. Love your idea. Yeah, I think I will analyze it live. I think that's the better option. Sorry, bro, I'm new here. What exactly is your business model? So I am running a digital marketing agency, which I started about a couple months ago. I mean, if you could, pretty much everything about me is out there on the internet. You could look me up. You could find my LinkedIn and whatnot. It says, for example, on my LinkedIn, I started like a little over a year ago, but that's not super true. There's like a whole backstory to it. I started it when I was still working full-time in audit, and I was doing it with a friend of mine, but originally we were going to be doing AI-related stuff. But then as I moved forward, I started learning a lot about marketing. Then I kind of combined the two. Now I do a little bit of like AI and marketing put together. And I primarily run ad campaigns for people on Facebook. And I've built this whole offer where I offer a landing page with a video sales letter for landscapers. And that's my primary target audience. So, like I said, I haven't done outreach yet. So now we are like in the process of starting that. So I don't have any clients yet. That's why I wanted to make sure I do this now before I get clients so that it'd be more interesting. I have done some marketing stuff for a friend of mine. We made them brochures. We set up their website. I did their video sales letter. I set everything up for their side. They're doing well. I didn't take money from them, so it's not like a proper paid client, but I have some experience there. I know a lot about marketing. I'm part of some communities of people who know about marketing. So like I'm pretty well versed in the field. So yeah, that's that. Hey, I see. Do you work with car detailers? I own a car detailing company. Depending on what you have to offer, I'd love to be your first proper client. Yeah. I mean, look, you're welcome to either DM me on Instagram or I could give you my number. You can reach out to me. We could see if it makes sense. Obviously, like although I do want to niche in a particular area, it's not like I have to. It's more of like for that specific offer that I have built. But we can definitely do some other offer if it makes sense. You know, we could take a look at how what it is you're actually offering, where you're located. We could work out if the, you know, whatever budget you have, if that would make sense. Sure. So yeah, you're welcome to reach out to me. I could, again, you could either DM me on Instagram. You'll find, just if you look up my name, you can find me literally anywhere. Or I could give you my phone number right now. You could message me on WhatsApp or whatever's comfortable for you. And we could take a look. You know, if it makes sense, it makes sense. The whole goal is that we both benefit. You know, you need to benefit for me to benefit. I have a guarantee for all of my services to make sure that that happens, that you get a full refund if you don't get what you expect. Landscapers and detailers will run similar sort of ads. Yeah, it's not too far off. Like, it's still, I guess, I don't want to call it a trade, but like, it's not too far from that. It's kind of a similar sort of thing. So yeah. Australia, so if it might work for you, then yeah, go for it. Send me a DM. I'll get back to you once the stream ends, and we'll see. We could have a call and see if you know, if it makes sense. Hey, Native GT, what's up? Do you deal worldwide? Yes. Although obviously, if you're in a country which doesn't speak English, it'd be a little bit tougher, because if I'm writing the copy, I wouldn't be able to phrase things in a way that would make sense for your language. So as long as it's English, it's fine. And like, maybe it'd be possible to do another language, but I'd be a little wary, because you know how translating changes, and when you're writing copy, it's so specific that every word matters. So I'd be a little concerned that if I'm, you know, if the client is translating some of the stuff I'm saying, it might not come across the same. There's also some cultural differences which might matter depending on what you're selling to. So I would say I'd rather stick to English-speaking countries. But English-speaking countries worldwide, or anybody who is in a foreign country who doesn't speak English and wants to sell to English-speaking countries, that's perfectly fine as well. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, Donkey Buns, great name, love that. I just noticed. Okay, so yeah, I'll get back to you once the stream ends. Send you a DM, bro. Let me know if you got that. I think that was you coming through. I got a request here. I'll accept it, and then I'll message you later. There we go. Yep. Okay, I accepted your message. I'll let you know. I won't let you know anything. I'll text you afterwards. Sorry, I'm just a little scatterbrained trying to keep up with everything. Okay. Yeah, I'll reach out to you after the live. Cool. So digital marketing stuff is the future, and I wish you Godspeed for. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully AI doesn't take my job. Everybody says that AI won't take some of the like creative thinking fields, which marketing kind of is. You kind of have to understand humans, and AI kind of sucks at marketing still for now. It can do, if you set it up very well, it can do better than the average person, but it won't beat somebody really good at it. But as you all know, AI is progressing crazy fast. You know, it's getting to the point where you can't even tell some of the videos apart from real footage, so it's slightly concerning. Could happen, but you know, it's almost, I'm almost 100% positive it's always going to be a tool and never a replacement. So that's why I'm mixing AI with marketing. So I'm making sure I stay ahead of the field. We use AI actually for some of the lead scraping automations that we're using to create like personalized messages to make outreach more effective. And it you know, it's useful for stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's ever going to be something that anybody can do anything with it. Maybe it will. Maybe it's hopeful thinking that it won't get to that point. But I think the most likely it's just going to be a tool, like anything else, you know. Anything else that comes out in the digital field, all new emerging technologies, they almost never make older stuff completely obsolete. It usually just builds upon it. So I hope it's going to be like that. Yeah, I've had this name for too long to change it. If you could give 3 tips to run meta ads, what would they be? It's kind of, it's kind of hard to say just three things because it could, I don't know what your skill set is. I don't know what you know and what you don't know. The thing is, the actual platform is not super confusing. A lot of gurus try to make it seem like it is, and that the average person couldn't do it. That's not really true. Meta does a good job at kind of holding your hand through the process, and they do a decent job even without any of the configuration. Like, there's not a lot you need to know to get 80% of the way there. Like the Pareto principle. The actual bulk of it is how good are you at the actual marketing, at writing the ads, writing the headlines, crafting a good offer for your business to make people interested in the offer. How do you create a no-brainer offer so that it's hard to say no to? That kind of stuff. That's the more difficult stuff. So for something like car detailing, a super good tip would be when you make your ads, it would be to show before and after ads. I imagine those would work extremely well. They're very like emotional. The headline is also super important. If your headline doesn't catch people's attention, the ad is useless. It's like if the cover on a book is shit, no one's going to read the book, even if the book is the most amazing thing in the world. Something that I say, which I think is quite funny, is if your ad could have the coordinates to the lost city of Atlantis in it, but if nobody opens it to read it, doesn't matter. Might as well not exist. So headlines are super important. So there's two things. Let me try to think of a third one. I guess a specific call to action. It's kind of hard to pick three. Like, they all kind of work in tandem with one another. So yeah, that's that. Well, AI would still be taking over it. Creativity is something that's within and not with computing machines. Yeah, it's just like, it's hard to see deep into the future to see what it could get to. I don't want to get too philosophical here, but our brains are kind of like just super powered computers, There's not really, like, I guess this is where you could either bring in religion or not, but I'm going to disregard religion for this example. We could theoretically recreate all of those wires in our brain to recreate a person to be exactly the same as the person we're recreating. So in theory, a computer could have the same kind of computational ability as a human being. We don't know if we can actually build that, but at least in my philosophy, I believe that is possible. So I guess it's just, we'll see. Honestly, I've had good success trying to make it work myself. The platform itself is simple, like you said. I think you're right about the ad being the hard part rather than marketing the ad. Yeah, it does do a good job. Like, there's some key things like making sure you have the correct audience, making sure you're only showing the ad to people in your general area. Some people make that mistake, like showing it to all of the country that you're in as opposed to the area that you actually serve people. That could waste some of your budget. But yeah, the platform is not super complicated. Like I said, there's just a few things that once you get right, they work. But it's more about understanding the psychology of what makes people, want to take up an offer. Understand, but probably a hard question to answer. It's my birthday. Happy birthday! Congrats! I could turn on one of these things to do like a spinny lights, but I'm afraid it might start flickering the camera, so I won't do that. But happy birthday, Levy legit. Probably a hard question to answer. Out of curiosity, how does the AI tie into running the ads? So, okay, I'm not using AI right now for running the ads. It's more of like the back-end systems. So I'm using some AI for creating the back-end and some AI to help with coming up with stuff. But it's not like a huge primary thing for the actual top of the funnel, like for the ads. At least not from my side. I know there are some companies which do that, but I don't really like relying on AI to actually make some of the ads. Sometimes it can be helpful. Say, for example, you're selling an energy drink. The ChatGPT image generator at this point is really, really good. You can severely speed up the process of making images, which before you'd hire these big production companies or the marketing companies would charge you a lot so they could hire like videographers or people to take pictures of the products, do the editing, etc. You can fast track a lot of the process now with AI. So that's a really useful feature for it. But I don't do e-commerce stuff. I do services. and videos tend to do better for that. Or if they are image ads, they would be like before and after pictures and stuff like that. So it's not super useful for service businesses, which is what I'm doing, but it can definitely really help for e-commerce. Is it scrapping ads that are already up and creating a narrative similar to the key concepts from successful ads, or more so the targeting? I would say targeting is probably more important. I mean, there's a lot to it. It's like I could explain everything about marketing in a few hours, but it wouldn't have, you know, there's a part of it which is knowledge, and then there's a part of it which is execution. You can understand a concept but not do it right. So that's where that kind of falls apart. I can give you some advice and I can tell you stuff, but then you might try it and it might not work. But that doesn't mean that what I told you is wrong. So I'm trying to be wary of what I'm saying to you is like really big tips, because there's a lot of little parts which kind of work together to make it good. There's not like a secret, you know. If there was one big thing that's some secret that everybody knows, well, then the ads wouldn't be profitable, or everybody would be rich. You know, it's one of those. So I'm trying my best to answer the questions, but I'm just saying that it's hard to answer everything very specifically and give you like the keys to the kingdom in just, you know, a 5-minute conversation. Hey, what's your content about? So I started a business a couple months ago, and I'm showing all of the behind the scenes of building it, outreach, sales calls once we get to them, and everything live. And then I'm gonna make edited down videos of it to just kind of immortalize it into the YouTube ecosystem. So anybody that finds it, wants to do this stuff, so they don't have to pay a bunch of courses, they don't have to go through a bunch of gurus who are gonna lie to them and funnel them into their courses. I want to have it all out there. My experience of starting, from my knowledge, and running the business, everything fully transparent and authentic. That's what my content is about. And so yeah, very happy birthday, Levy, again. Yeah. Yeah, I tried running. Let's creating an AI agency myself, but we were just a little too broad and I wasn't really able to focus on something. Yeah, that's a mistake a lot of people make, I think, is when you're starting out, you really have a temptation to go broad because you think, well, that's what all the big companies do. But you really just got to focus on one thing, one deliverable. You can have like side projects or have some kind of like thing you're working towards to build it up. But when you're starting, there's no point in trying to be broad, trying to appease everybody, because you're just going to make more work for yourself. Whereas if you pick one automation that you know you can make for a specific type of business, like say a customer support agent for hotels, is a little bit saturated, but just as an example, you can get really, really, really good at doing that. And then, you know, offer that. Some of it is going to be copy paste because a lot of hotels would need a similar thing. So you're just making less work for yourself. So you know, a lot of people spread themselves too thin, trying to juggle a lot. But you got to start small and you got to work your way up. We were scraping IG accounts for content ideation and creating apartment setters, but it was not what I expected at all. It's very easy to fall into a side quest and try to make random other automations, which is why we were spread extremely thin. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you learn. I mean, I was making those same mistakes when I started. I had the same exact problem. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I like being good at a lot of things rather than really good at one thing. So this has been very difficult for me to kind of wrestle with myself. But now I've gotten to the point where, you know, like I said, a couple months ago, I fully focused on it. I got all of my shit right. I made sure that I'm focusing on the right things. I built out my offer, one specific offer that I'm going to offer one specific person. And I'm also going to focus on that. If anybody else comes by, you know, obviously I will try to help them if it makes sense, but I'm not going to reach out to loads of different fields and offer loads of different things because I'm going to go crazy if I do that. Somebody comes to me in the offer and I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I think I have enough expertise to do this for you. I think we could both benefit, then I will do it. But I'm not going to seek it out. So Why is your skin so damn clear? It's really not. I think it's actually a setting on my camera, which is like kind of blurring my face a little bit. You can see I got some like good few impurities around here. I actually have a lot of scarring because I used to have really bad acne when I was younger. So yeah, it's not as clear as it looks. It's fake. It's not super fake, but it's a little fake. But thank you for. I'll take that as a compliment, Stella. I think running the detailing along with the agency was a little too much for me, especially since the detailing isn't fully stable yet. AI would be something to look into once the detailing is set. Honestly, well, let me challenge you on that. If the detailing was set in and you were doing well with the detailing, then don't you... Okay, do you think it would make sense for you to split 50% of your time into AI? Or do you think it would make sense to do double of the thing that is already working well and bringing you a lot of money? You know? If the detailing is working great, just scale the detailing. I think a common mistake a lot of business owners make is having too much shit going on, having too many different businesses. You know, and almost always, again, the Pareto principle. I love the Pareto principle. 80-20, you know, if you have 5 businesses and you're spreading 20% of your time across all of them, chances are one of them is doing way better than the rest, and you might as well just put 5 times the effort into that one. Okay, so what are we talking about? We're talking about business-oriented stuff. I've been going for a while here, but it's been almost 25 minutes. That's good, you know, practice a little bit of communication and get used to just chatting. What's going on here? Faith, what's up? We're talking business. I'm about to show how you can scrape some leads from Google Maps for free. I built an automation for it already a while ago, so I won't show the whole thing, but you'll still get a little exposure. You know, if you stick around, you want to ask some questions, how some stuff works, I'll explain it. But I'm not going to show the whole thing again because I already did a stream the other day on setting that up. It's exactly how I see it too. My business partner thinks that the AI agency could be the play, but I see a big future in the detailing by expanding to other cities. Yeah, honestly, I think the thing is, it's always easy to look at what's coming and feel like you're missing out on a big opportunity of some kind. But that's almost never the case. You're always going to leave money on the table. You cannot physically do everything. It's not feasible. And the more you spread yourself, the worse you're going to do at each individual thing. It doesn't make sense. You should just pick one thing. Detailing is not going away anytime soon. Until cars disappear, car detailing is going to exist. So why, like I get that AI seems like it could be really profitable and could be a cool business opportunity, but if you have something working, just double down on it. Make it work super well. Yushia, hello. Hey, what's up? Okay, I think that I should start getting into the bulk of what we're doing here. Otherwise, I'm never gonna start. So, here is our main view. I'm gonna make myself a little bit smaller. I need to update this text. Scraping, yeah, scraping needs for free from Google Maps. There's that. There we go. Anyway, sorry for taking you into a tangent. Let's see what you were actually supposed to do. Now, don't worry about it, brother. This is like, it's a shared experience. This is part of it. This is part of the reason I'm live streaming. People can ask questions. We can hang out. Maybe build some kind of community someday. That's why I started this. It's not so much about what I'm doing. Obviously, that's a big part of it. But some of this stuff is, it gets kind of repetitive after a while. Once you set up some systems in place, you're not doing a lot. I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting once I actually have client work to do. Because then I'll be able to show, obviously, whoever agrees to it, I'll be able to show some of the stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes and writing the ads, maybe educate some people on how they can write their own ads and stuff like that. How do you maximize a retail store? Just like a typical retail store. What kind of retail store? You selling clothes? You selling... Are you selling, it's a grocery store? Probably not. That's like one of the worst businesses you could open as a grocery store. I don't really deal with retail stores. It's not my area of expertise. I don't know how well it would work with something like Facebook ads. Like maybe, but it's kind of again, it depends on the retail store. Like if you're selling something like clothes, again, that's tough because clothing is so down to branding. It's not so much about like I mainly run lead generation campaigns to try and get customers to take up an offer in the back end, like sort of long-term leads to make sure that we nurture people, build a list of people that are going to convert later down the line. So I'm more so focused on that, whereas I feel like retail stores are super long-term because, well, I'm going to take clothing as an example. That clothing is the kind of thing that you need a lot of really strong branding. A lot of it would be down to more so like affiliate marketing and talking to influencers, trying to get them to wear your stuff for free just to show it off to their audience, give them a percentage of sales. It's a completely different sort of field. I'm in the hospitality business. We sell amenities. I'd need to know a little bit more detail than that. I'm not fully sure. To me, that's still quite broad. I'm not in that field. So I'm sorry that if it feels like I'm avoiding it. I'm not. I just don't really know what specifically you mean. Like, I don't know what hospitality amenities are. I don't know everything about the world. So I would need to know what kind of customers you're targeting, how you're getting them now. And I need to know a lot more detail to be able to answer that, just because I don't know anything about the industry. Why are you only aiming for 2K a month? Okay, originally it was actually 10K, but I decided I was gonna start a series on Instagram or TikTok explaining it from the perspective of the situation I'm actually currently in, which is that I quit my job a few months ago. I moved to a different country. I live in Spain now. I moved from Ireland. And I'm living off of my savings, and I quit and I moved here because I wanted to make this business work. So I'm running out of money. So the 2K is how much I would need to be able to keep living. And I've estimated I have about 3 months left of savings to get me through. So I need to get this to work. And I thought that would be a lot more engaging if I was more realistic with the goal of 2K than 10K. That's really why I changed it. It was up until this point 10K because it was a nice number to look at, And also, even just like as a side thing, I think it's good to set small goals. I don't remember where I read this, but it's some sort of like it's a psychological sort of thing where having smaller stepping stones makes it easier to achieve certain goals, because then every time that you achieve them, you get a little bit of dopamine. It's kind of what makes video games so addictive, because you get rewarded constantly. You walk for the first time, you get an achievement banner in the bottom right. You kill your first enemy, you get this cool sound, and your character levels up. It gives you a bunch of quick dopamine hits. But in real life is extremely long. To actually do anything worth doing takes a long time. So if you set a big goal like 5 to 10K, it would take a long time to get there. But if you set a goal that's like 500, 1,000, you're going to get that much sooner. You'll get that dopamine, and it'll, tell your brain you're doing a good job. It's like a reward system. Fair enough. I think it would be a really good hook at the start of videos explaining the backstory of why you're aiming for just 2K. Yeah, exactly. And I was also thinking of including the fact that I have about 5,000 left to run me, so that I could continue to live for about 3 months before having to move back to my parents' basement, essentially. So yeah, it'll be engaged. It's a fun thing for me because it's like stressful a little bit. I mean, I tend to be a pretty calm person. It's stressful, but I'm handling it fairly well. But I just really wanted to throw myself into the deep end of like, okay, I gotta do this. I really wanted to have my own business. It was really important to me. I wanted to do something. I knew stuff about marketing, started learning about a lot about marketing, and I wanted to do this, quit my job, moved, and I got to do it, or, I have to go back to my career. which was I was studying to be a chartered accountant in audit. I had just finished my second year when I decided, you know what, this isn't for me. I was good at it. I was great, and I developed a lot of systems for them as well, which they use. But yeah, I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to build a life that I felt like I had control over. I'm working 2 times longer nowadays than I did over there, but it's different when it's yours. It's different when you have the control, and that's important to me. You know, our targets are hotel managers, procurement managers. You know, items in the rooms or bathroom. Yep, or guests they can take for free, like shower cap, soaps, lotions, sugars, teas, coffees, etc. Okay. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. That's more something I can work with. I'm not sure if ads would be the best for that. I would have to do some research, but I'm not sure ads would be the way to go. So you sell stuff to the hotel managers to put in their hotels as amenities. Okay. Yeah, honestly, I would probably do cold outreach primarily, or maybe if you want to get your first. How well are you doing with it right now? Like, what are your sales? How many clients do you have? There's just so many questions. It's like I'm gonna do a whole marketing audit on the call. I'm not prepared for that at all, especially in an industry I don't know anything about. But there's a lot of research, you know, that would have to go into that. It wouldn't be as simple as something like, you know, like a trade service. This would take it wouldn't. I just don't see how ads would be better. I don't see how ads would be the best option. So it'd be a little bit more complex than that, I would imagine. Again, I'd have to do research. I'm making sure to make that extremely clear. I don't want to speak on stuff I don't know about. Hey Wills, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Okay, let's get into some of this. So the way this works and the systems that we have set up, we want to type in niche, which is landscaper, and I already did Dublin, so let's do something like Cork. Landscaper Cork. So what this allows us to do, and there's probably not going to be a huge amount. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, that looks like a decent amount. So what you do after that is you grab the link. I'm good at you. I'm doing fantastic. What did you do today? Anything interesting? Let's get deep. What are your goals in life? What are you looking to achieve before you kick the bucket? You go into Phantom Buster, make an account. They let you do up to 2 hours of exports for free. They do gate you off of downloading the leads lists, but I have a way to get around that, so you could do it for free. All right, thank you. But ads have been our major targets for clients, and it's been working. If it's been working, then that's great. That would be a really good starting point, actually, to be able to see what you can improve. Do you guys have an agency that's doing that for you, or are you doing it yourself? Or do you have like in-house employees that are running that? And what are your results like, if you know, if you don't mind me asking? Because that's interesting. I mean, if ads are working, then that's great. Ads work for almost everything. I'm just being safe, right? Because I think maybe there are some things which could work better. That doesn't mean that ads wouldn't work. That's why I'm trying to, you know, explain it in this way. I didn't say ads would be bad. I just am thinking maybe ads wouldn't be the best. But anyway, yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, if you have any results you'd like to share, I'd be interested to hear. I'm always open to learning, love learning about new industries. Find it very interesting. What website are you using? This is called Phantom Buster. It allows you to scrape information from certain parts of the internet. They have these modules called phantoms. And we're going to be using the Google Maps search export today. And what it's basically going to do is, when I grab this after searching landscape or cork, it's basically going to take the top 120 results from this list, and it's going to grab all of the information, like if they have a website, it's going to grab like the phone numbers and whatnot, and it's going to put them into a list for us. Then we're going to take that list, we're going to process it, we're going to find emails of decision makers from it, and then we're going to put it into an email campaign so that we have a bunch of emails ready to send out. We're going to send out personalized emails to those people in very large numbers. That's the plan. So that's that. English number, spreadsheet rows. Max number is 120. So result, we're going to name Google Maps Landscaper Scrape. Only done this once. Let me double check. Need to log into a different account. Yes, I've only done one scrape. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So this name is going to be important. So if you're following along, or if you want to follow along later, once you know a little bit more about what we're doing, it's important that you remember the name of this file. So now we just we let it run. I want to make sure I write down these searches I'm doing so I don't forget what I've already done. There we go. Search 2 is landscape of cork. Grade 2, 22, 7, 25. I've been doing mostly just scrapes from the LinkedIn automation that we made because I was using up the remainder of my free trial. I ended up getting 3,000 profiles exported. And with about a 50 to 60% hit rate, we can expect to have about 1,500-ish valid emails of decision makers we could reach out to. My goal was to set up a system where we could send out at least 100 or more messages a day. So seems like that's going to be possible. And it's not super expensive. We needed to pay a little bit of money for Instantly, which is what I'm using for my email campaigns. Maybe there's a cheaper version. Maybe there's a cheaper way to do it without Instantly. But I like the software, and time is money. Don't want to spend a bunch of days looking for that as well. So I spent a little bit of the money that I have left. It was €100 to try and get that to work. So there's that. Now we just got to wait for this export to happen. Then I'm going to show you how to export the list without paying. I was thinking of making an edited down YouTube video of how to build the entire system. Not like a fully educational video, because I think that the internet has so much of that already. I was gonna make it sound more like a storytelling video where I'm explaining more so my experience in doing it, all the mistakes that I made, etc. But so that you could still watch it and still follow it and still build it. It would just be a slightly different format, which I wanted to experiment with, see if people find that interesting. So we'll try that. I'm a little worried though that, well, I mean, I shouldn't be worried. my channel is still very small. So it's unlikely that that video would do super well. So it's fine. But it's slow. It's slow. You think that it'd be faster to do this manually, to find all of these people and write down all of this information? Also, I am kind of doing it the long way. You can uh, set up a system with modules to do this inside a different platform, so you don't have to wait. You can also just keep this running in the background, you know, while you're doing something else. But yeah, I think I have to pay a subscription to use their API to be able to connect to the platform. And I don't have a lot of money, so I'm kind of doing a lot of stuff the slightly longer but cheaper way. But yeah, like this could run in the background while you do some other work. Thing is, I just don't really have much else to do, and I'm trying to juggle talking as well and trying to be somewhat entertaining while we wait for this kind of stuff to be done. So it just seems kind of tough to juggle that and then also try to do some other work. But I don't have a lot of work left on my setup. The only thing that I'm really waiting for is for my email campaign software to finish warming up my emails so I can start sending them out. And once we start getting replies, I think that'll be a bit more interesting to stream. But some of the stuff that I have left to do, they're like quite small things which don't need to be done before we get clients. I thought maybe we could set up a system to extract slightly more valid emails using this program called Neverbounce, but it's another expense, and I don't know if it's worth the expense. I don't know how many more emails we would get. I also need to write the script or template for the video sales letter I'm going to send as part of my outreach. So maybe we can do that. I also need to find out how I'm going to host the videos that I'm going to send, whether I'm going to use YouTube or Vimeo or Loom, whatever. So yeah, some stuff to do. Not a lot of it is urgent. Figured I would take a little bit of the, you know, the chilled out session, get to talk a little bit more. Give me a second, I gotta blow my nose. All right, I'm back. I messed around with my camera settings a bit, and the audio, sorry, not the audio, the video quality is so much better now. If you were to look at the previous stream, huge improvement. I look much better now. Before I was blocky and choppy. I also didn't realize, because I've just been recording and saving the streams down to my computer. I haven't been watching them. I didn't realize my camera was set to 30 FPS. So now I'm in full 60 FPS. Smooth motion. So that's an improvement, I think, as well. I got a second light, a third light set up on that corner. A little yellow. Makes this nice little triangle. Hey! Hey to you as well. I feel like this is taking longer than it usually does. The LinkedIn can scrape way faster, that's for sure. I think for LinkedIn, I got like 1,000 profiles in like 10 minutes. So it's definitely much faster. Spent all day yesterday doing like a finalization of one of the lead scrapers. I was fixing up the ChatGPT module, which is what we were using to create personalized messages. And that took so long. It took me so much longer than I thought. I think that stream ended up going for like 2 hours, 40 minutes or something. There was a guy, you know, I thought this was really interesting. There was a guy I wonder if he's going to see this as well at some point, but he was very upset with me. He watched the full 2 hours, 30 something minutes of the stream after it ended. And then he left a comment saying, like 2 hours 17 timestamp. So we spent the last 2 hours building something that doesn't work. And I was like, brother, finish the video. We got to the end and we got it to work. It's like I got stuck. And then we fixed the problem. So I don't know what his problem was. And I was also just thinking in my head, I'm like, so this isn't really like educational content in the sense of like normal educational content. I'm just a human. You know, I'm not a programmer. Some of the stuff that I'm building for the first time. These automations. I'm not a programmer. My background is in marketing and auditing. That's all I know. So, and I feel like I make that very clear when I do my streams, and you know, I'm setting up my videos and the titles and the descriptions. I feel like I make it pretty clear that I'm just a guy that's like still fairly early in the journey, setting all this stuff up. And you signed up for that by watching the video. And then you're mad that I'm not perfect on the first try. I just thought that that was a little strange, but he watched 2.5 hours of the full stream, which is baffling to me because my channel is still pretty small. So to have a guy that sits down and watches like the full video is quite quite amazing. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't get sick of me. But it just feels odd to do that and then leave like a comment that you're upset. Like, I'm sorry. I tried my best. I'm just a guy. And no, I don't know how to code. I'm trying my best. This is not part of my skill set. Metrics for the past month reached about 9,257. It's based on the closer regions or states we count about 294. Link clicks impressions was about 10,000. Okay, impressions 10,000. So I don't know what the CPM is, but I'm assuming you guys probably spent around $200 to $300 on that campaign. And is 9,200 the reach? Did you guys set up any? Like, are you taking leads? Are you taking sales? What's the campaign type? Because I would look more so for like conversions as a metric. Because link clicks is like, you know, link clicks is link clicks. Just because somebody visited your page doesn't necessarily mean that they filled out a form or that they bought something. The most important metric in any campaign should be the cost per conversion, which is how much you're spending to get your desired result. And what is your desired result? Is it to get a sale? Is it to get a form filled? Is it to get a call? Are you tracking this kind of stuff? Maybe you're leaving a lot of money on the table by if you're not tracking that kind of stuff. No, I'm not in your location. Okay. Noted. All right, well, here is our export done. Now let's see how we can get it for free. So normally when you click download results, and I've showed this a few times already, but I like showing it every time. It says you can only export 10 rows for free, or you have to pay a subscription. We circumvent that with a little cheat. Hit F12, type in the name of the file that I said that you should remember from earlier. Reload the page, and you see this? This is our embedded download link, which they are hiding from us. Now click that, and here's the download. Just like that. No need to pay a subscription. Just a neat little trick if you're going to use this software. Because you could use it then like literally for free until you use up the execution time up here, which they give you 2 hours on a free subscription. So now I don't want to leak these people's information, so I'm not gonna show that. I'll upload it to my list. I'm basically just opening that file that I downloaded now and just moving it to a different sheet where I am organizing it. There we go. Gives you the ratings, gives you the website link, gives you everything. It's pretty awesome. Now I'm also going to upload that to Google Sheets because we're going to need that for the automation. Oh yeah, I think I will need help with those things. If you want some help, I'd be happy to take a look at your account free of charge, just to point you guys in the right direction. So if you'd like, you're welcome to DM me on Instagram or send a message through WhatsApp. I could give you my phone number. Whatever works, I can help you guys out, see, if you're tracking the right kind of stuff. If you'd like, no pressure. Just offering. Okay, now I just have to add this to my... Okay, cool. Instagram's cool. Okay, yeah. Just send me a message on Instagram. It's the same name as here. You should find it pretty easily. And I'll get back to you after the stream. We'll see. I could take a look at your account for you. Okay, there's scrape 2. It's a shame I can't do everything like on stream, like stuff like this, because I don't want to leak a bunch of people's information. What is your talent, my dude? Mapping. Mapping? I mean, I wouldn't call this a talent. What is your talent? I don't really have a talent. I play the piano in my spare time. I'm not that talented though. I'm just pretty basic. I've been playing like since I was a kid, but I'm self-taught, so I'm not super good at it. I play the guitar. I have really good facial control. I can move like pretty much any part of my face, including my ears individually. I can also do this, which is like wave my eyebrows, which I think is pretty cool. Your hair looks gorgeous. Any tips? Is my tip is I don't have tips. My hair. I appreciate that you think that. I think it's literally just because I washed my hair this morning. I can't remember actually. Did I wash my hair this? I think I did wash my hair this morning. So it only looks good today. It's gonna look like shit tomorrow. You know what's actually? I will give you a tip. Wash your hair less. Wash your hair. If you're washing your hair every day, you're making a mistake. And if your hair gets oily super fast, or oily every day, that is why. Because you wash it every day. Because the shampoo strips all of the essential oils out of your head that your brain produces, that your scalp produces, that is meant to, protect your hair. The shampoo strips all of that out, and the conditioner essentially just putting fake oil back in. So your head starts to overproduce the oil because it's trying to make up for the fact that it keeps disappearing, because that's how your body is supposed to protect it. It's kind of like when you build up a caffeine tolerance, like your body, or any tolerance, your body starts compensating to try and bring you back to what it deems to be normal levels. And because of that, when you stop whatever substance you're on, you feel withdrawal symptoms. So this is kind of the same with your head. Your scalp produces a certain amount of oil, which is meant to protect your hair. When you use a bunch of shampoo and you wash your hair every day, your head is like, okay, I got to produce more of this shit. So it starts producing more, and then when you stop, your hair gets super greasy. So you just have to remove the tolerance by just letting your hair be dirty and slowly trying to wash it less and less, and that will make it healthier. Thanks for the tip. What are you doing now? I do not understand. You had some map open, so I thought you were some mapper. No, I'm not. Did you think I'm into like like a GeoGuessr or something? No, I'm not that. We're exporting information from Google Maps about clients for our business so we could reach out to them with emails. And I'm showing how to use an automation to get it done much faster than doing it manually. So here's a program called Phantom Buster, which you can use to help you export this stuff. I don't want to explain like everything that I'm constantly doing, because sometimes, you know, new people come in, I have to say the same thing over and over. Probably not super engaging for people that are continuing to watch. So you could like scroll back if you'd like, or after the stream you could look back, or watch one of the other ones. I think I have a stream up that's called something like Free Leads with Google Maps. I explain the whole automation there, how everything works, a lot more clearly. Here I'm just kind of doing more of it so I could prepare some. We'll still go through some of the automation stuff that's happening, but that's what we're doing here. That's why this map is open. Now I need to actually log into... Hold on, did I finish this other thing I was doing? No, I didn't. I need to upload these to my Google Sheets. All right, thank you so much. I sent you a message from Vivian. All right, great, Vivian. I'll message you after the stream, and you know, we'll see if I could take a look at your account and see if I could help out in any way. I think that this kind of automation would be great for your business as well, though, because you could get into contact with hotel managers directly and ask them if they are looking for this. Although I imagine you'd probably run out of people pretty quick, which would be bad. Because if you run out, because you can probably only sell to people in your country, I imagine. So once you're out of people to reach out to in hotels, you're kind of shit out of luck. What you might be able to do, actually, if you get a bunch of emails using a system like this, you could build a list in Meta that's called a lookalike audience, which Meta will use the emails and information you submitted to try and find people like them, so it could make your targeting better. But I'm not sure. You know, again, I'm just spitballing ideas here. You have a way with words. Add that in your talents. That you have the way you explain it is characteristic of a good teacher. I appreciate that. I'm glad you feel that way. I think I'm usually pretty good at explaining things. I like to be very specific, so I think that helps. That's also why I like building stuff like this. Like, I'm not a programmer. I think I would have liked programming if I did it. And it's on my to-do list. It's something that I would like to do at some point in the future. But I like building stuff like this because I like problem solving. And I think part of that is because my brain is very like systematic and I can understand stuff in like very tiny steps. And maybe that's why I'm good at explaining things, because I can relay those tiny steps. Whereas a lot of people go a little too broad and they just explain like, oh, here's this, do it. Right? And I'm not like that. I'm more like, press here, click this, here's why you do this. I think understanding the why behind a lot of stuff is super important. And that's the part that a lot of people miss, because when you tell somebody how to do something and they don't really get it, it's harder for them to remember. Whereas if you teach them why something happens or why you should do something, it internalizes so much more, because then when you see the thing that you're doing, you're like, okay, well, this makes perfect sense. And you learn to apply that to different situations too. And I think that that's super useful. So you went to college to learn these things, business leads? No, I learned all this stuff myself, just research. I did go to college. I went to college for business management, but they don't teach stuff like this. I didn't really learn much. I did really well in college, even though I didn't really try very hard. But no, I've learned so much more since doing my own research on everything and joining communities and stuff than I've ever learned in college. I also went to university to try and become a chartered accountant. So I have some experience in accountancy and auditing as well. I did 3 years of accounting, 2 years in audit. So, but all the marketing stuff is pretty much self-taught. Obviously, we learned some marketing in college as part of the business management courses, but most of it is self-taught. I feel every college gives outdated info, whereas business is ever changing. This is very true. I mean, there are some principles which never change, and a lot of the principles you just build upon. But yeah, you gotta constantly stay ahead of the game. Like with AI, for example. I don't know if they're teaching that stuff at college now, but it seems more like they condemn it. Like they're telling people not to use AI. Like they don't want to embrace the changes, and that's really bad. It's a terrible way to learn because these people are going to be left behind. They need to stay ahead of the game. They need to be using stuff like AI. They need to learn how to use it in a way that it can't be detected. They need to learn how to interject their own ideas into whatever AI generates for them. It's a tool that needs to be taught how to use, and that's kind of the problem I have with college as well. So I agree with you there. I'm from Slovenia. There are no AI courses. Yeah, and I wouldn't expect there to be. And it's super important to constantly learn new technology. I mean, you could look at your parents and grandparents in particular. Some of them can't even. They don't know what a browser is. They don't know how to open Google. Do you want to be like that? Probably not. I want to be the grandpa that knows everything that's going on. I want to know all the new shit. And I think everybody should strive to be that way. You gotta do your own research. People are not gonna give you everything you need. College, don't get me wrong, college is great for some stuff. Like you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you gotta go to college. But something like business studies, you're better off learning on your own. I genuinely believe that. And I can speak to that because I did it. And I'm right. I learned so much more about business outside of college than I did inside of college doing business. And again, I also did auditing. I worked 40 hours a week as an auditor and studied like accounting exams and stuff. And even then, I just don't think I knew about business as much as I do now. You know what I've noticed about people is that they love to overcomplicate everything. Like some business structures are complicated, but they don't have to be. They're complicated because they use complicated words, they explain it in a convoluted way. There's a lot of like tiny steps that you need to be aware of, which in my opinion, most of them don't even need to be there. Because they want to make it as complex as possible. And I feel like this is the same thing in a lot of fields. People love to feel superior to others, and they love to gatekeep learning information for some reason, and they try to make it as difficult for you as possible to learn certain things. And yes, exactly. They love to do it because it boosts their own ego. They like to feel smart. They like to feel superior. So whenever you talk to these people, they talk about all these sorts of complicated concepts and stuff that doesn't matter too much, just to sound smart. I hate that because it just feels like you're gatekeeping, right? Like you're like, well, you plebeian, you don't understand as much as I do. But in reality, a lot of the stuff that you do and that you don't need. So that's my gripe with that. Research is one thing, but who will give funding? Funding for what? The only funding you need is a phone and preferably a place to sit. Sit on the floor. There are many open source tools for business management. Do you use any? No. What do you mean specifically? What kind of tools? Do you mean like CRMs or something? I'm not sure what you mean exactly. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Yeah, CRMs. I don't use a proper CRM because of the industry I'm in, digital marketing. I would never have a huge amount of clients. So I don't really need a very big CRM that's very fleshed out. I use Airtable to store all my client information. So, because I like the way that you can use it in automations very easily. That's why I use Airtable. It kind of works as a CRM. Spending tracker. I I've built my own in Excel. I use Excel for that. Use a bit of my accounting background to build myself my trackers and whatnot. Actually, that's something I'm going to need to work on once I'm starting to get clients, is setting up my like accounting spreadsheets, because I only have like very minimal, like the basics set up. So I'm going to have to do that. I'm talented, man. I wouldn't call it talent. It's just I've done a lot of stuff. I've just constantly said yes to every opportunity that came my way, and because of that, I learned a lot of stuff. I know a lot about fitness and nutrition as well. I'm not super built or anything, but I'm like healthy, and so I know a good bit about nutrition and fitness. I work out pretty often. I eat healthy food. If anybody's interested, the best tip you can have ever from anybody for weight loss or just becoming healthier is cut out all processed food out of your diet. That one change will make you lose weight. I genuinely believe that applies to like 99% of people, that it's impossible, nearly impossible to overeat if you eat just fresh food that comes out of the ground or is like an animal, just something natural. I genuinely think it's almost impossible to be fat. Yeah, I think that's key. Keep saying yes. Gets you out of your comfort zone. That's important. Yeah, actually, that reminds me. I could tell a story a little bit about how I ended up here. So when I went to college, I was in my like phase of life where I didn't really know what I want to do. I went to college. I did well, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do really, really well in college, and I did. I finished with a distinction. But then after my first year, I went to my mother's company for a bit because she was saying that they were having difficulty at work or something. They got a new boss or something, and they were fixing some mistakes the previous one made. And I was like, hey, is there anything I could do? I'm learning like business management, stuff like that. Maybe there's something I could help with. And she asked the boss, he asked to see me. I talked to him a bit, and he's like, sure, we'll try you out for like a couple of weeks, and if you do well, we'll hire you. So I went there, did well, did whatever they needed me to do. That's where I started getting introduced to accounting, because I was starting to do some of the accounting for them, like the bookkeeping. And they liked me and kept me on, and I started getting paid a salary. I also experienced what it's like to work from home, because he was okay with working remotely on a few days, so that was quite nice. I also got some experience with managing employees. Even though I was young, it was kind of funny. I was like 19 at the time, and I was managing some of the builders and stuff. I learned how to use like a tenant management software. Learned how to talk to people that are superior to me. That's an interesting way to phrase that, but thank you, brain. So I got experience there, and then I found out about audit because we were getting audited, and I learned about it from this guy who was working for the company I eventually ended up working for. And I thought, okay, let me try to figure this stuff out, see if this is something I would like. And I talked to my boss, and he introduced me to the chartered accountancy stuff. And I was like, okay, maybe that's something I want to do. So I started reaching out to that company, and I started emailing them like crazy, trying to get like an interview, because they were about to start their intake in like October, November-ish. And usually they recruit like a year in advance. And they also asked for a bachelor's degree. I didn't have that. I was only in my second year at this point. And I just kept emailing them, got the interview, did well. They said they'll hire me. Didn't care if I didn't have a bachelor's. So I ended up quitting college halfway through. And I went to work for them. Spent a couple of years there, did my chartered accountancy stuff. And then I decided to quit to start my own business. And I'm here now, 5,000 left in my bank account, and 90 days to make a livable salary, or I got to go back. There's my life story right there. You need to have talent first or attitude first, and talent can come later. What's your opinion? Oh, attitude. Definitely attitude. You just got to go for it. Like, I don't be a perfectionist. And this is coming from a massive perfectionist. The worst thing you can do in learning anything is being a perfectionist. Make the mistakes. Allow yourself to make mistakes and do everything fast. Do fast, allow mistakes, learn from the mistakes. Don't study how to drive a car for a year before getting in a car. Just get in the car. You'll learn in a week how to drive. That applies to everything. You gotta just go, man. Just do stuff. Learn stuff. Stick with it. Consistency. Consistency is the most important thing you could do in learning anything. Stick with it. Every day, little bit of time. Don't stop. Imagine yourself 10 years in the future. I know it's hard. I know it's very difficult to do. But just do it. It will pay off eventually. I promise. Anyway, give me a second. I need to go get some water. My voice is starting to get tired. I'm back. I'm gonna turn off. Not off. I'm just gonna put my headphones away because I'm. My head's starting to hurt. Okay. Well, anyway. Hello. That's solid advice. No one taught us, even parents. Yeah. Yeah. You really just gotta go through life and figure shit out. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. There are no adults. We're all grown-up children. Nobody knows what's happening. Welcome back. Thank you. Good to be back. I was gone very momentarily. Anyway, let's get into make.com. Let me move this before I leak my passwords. And then I will open up the automation, show a little bit more about how it works. But again, if anybody needs to see these automations, we did a full stream. It's called something like Free Leads with Google Maps, where I actually built the whole thing. So you might want to check that out if that's something you're interested in. Here we go. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm opening this. I don't really need it right now. There's that. Okay. I might as well just explain it since I'm here. Explain the way it works. So we uploaded. So the thing that we got right now, we typed in our niche. So the way you want to search for this is niche and city. So we searched landscaper Cork. So we can get a bunch of these results. Then we put them into this program called Phantom Buster, which basically scraped all of the information from that search result. You just copy this link and you go into their the dashboard, go into their phantoms, and then search for Google Maps search export. You click on that, put in the link, launch, wait for it to happen. Then you upload that into a Google Sheet. You connect your Google Sheet to this. You click on it, you click create a connection, you'll see that it pops up. And then you log in with your details and it connects the Google Sheet for you. Then you select which sheet you want. Let me see if I can show that. Yes. So you select your drive, the one that would have been connected. You select the what the sheet is called. You select the name of where you put the leads. Then table contains header, yes. The column range will automatically detect usually. Then we want to filter for the website. We want to make sure their website exists because we're going to use the website to search up the emails of decision makers. So you click on this and select website. That's basically taking the column of the Google Sheet and it's taking the H column, which is where all the websites are written for each business. Right now, there's a limit. Don't have, like, this is just for testing purposes. When you're running it, you don't need a limit. Then you connect this module, which you have to, like, they give some free credits for this, but I paid for the plan because I needed more. This finds the decision maker's email. So you connect that with the information. You take the domain and then type in their website. This is why we filtered for website. And then you select the category of people you want to find, which for us is CEO, owner, etc. And then here you use fully verified emails. Now you don't have to do this, and I was thinking of maybe setting up a system where we fix that and we can use all found emails and then use another platform to verify if those emails exist. That's another possibility. I have to pay for that. Although it might save some of the emails we might lose by going with the fully verified emails. Then the Perplexity basically just searches online for details about the person and finds their like LinkedIn if they have one. Sorry, this finds their LinkedIn if they have one. Then once it does, we put in sleep because this takes a little bit to process and we want to make sure there's enough of a gap here. So this waits for 40 seconds. Then we get the data back from that creation. Then this ChatGPT personalizes the message. We spent all day yesterday training this ChatGPT to make good personalized messages. This ends up this is a huge prompt. So that creates personalized messages based on information that the previous one found, and then they get uploaded to our email campaign software. And this all happens automatically. You press the run button, and that's it. So that's the general system. So I was just getting some leads from here so that I could use this later, because right now I'm still waiting for my email campaign software to fully work. So yeah, once that works, we'll be good to go. Let me see if I can show you that. Let me log in real quick. Log in. How do you say your name? I don't even want to say it in case I butcher it. Firier? I'm sorry. How do you say that? I like getting people's names right. What happened to AB? He just said hi and dipped. I guess he was busy. All good. Okay, so here we go. So they get uploaded into here. Oops. Well, those emails I think we saw already anyway. It's fine. They're from LinkedIn profiles. It's not GDPR violations. These are publicly available emails. Don't worry about it. But yeah, there's our messages which we're going to send out. I wrote out a whole email campaign. And one of them is going to be tested with personalization. So for example, if I preview this, here's one that got uploaded. This part was made with ChatGPT. Hey Graham, came across your landscaping company and noticed you mentioned most of your work comes from recommendations, so I figured I'd reach out. And this is pulled from their LinkedIn profile, from their about section that we got from the automation. So we could make our emails a little bit more personalized, increase that reply rate. And then I offer to send them a short video, which we need to script out. That part is not done. I have a good VSL on my website, but this part is not done. So there's that. Oh. It's quite cool how this is set up. It's nice. See if it works properly or if there's any other problems we need to fix once we start running it. Although I think it's fully okay. I think it's perfectly fine. So you know what? I did one more scrape. Took me an hour and a half because I spent almost all of the time yapping, as one does. So I'm thinking maybe what we could do for the remainder time, because I think I'll probably stream till about 5. Let me move these over. I was going to use these as help for setting up that verification, like to get more emails out of verification, but I don't think we'll do that today. I'm thinking maybe we could spend a little bit of time scripting, see if we could come up with something for that. Because essentially the way that my outreach is going to work is I am offering to send them a short video showing them a good system for how they can get clients. So that's what we're doing. Let me see if I can pull it up here. It's funny how I'm not used to talking for so long. So my voice gets really tired and raspy after a while. You know what really helps? Warm water. I should get some warm water next time. Really helps with keeping the pipes clean. Where is this? Cold email, VSL stuff, email VSL scripts. Let me see if there's anything here I cannot show. Yeah, I want to keep it short because I have a VSL on my website that's about 7 minutes, but it's a little too long for one to send by email. So I figured I don't need these anymore. So I figured what I would do is I would shorten it and try to keep the key points and try to figure out, okay, how do I keep their attention? So let me read through this real quick and I'll show it. I'm not deleting anything, I'm highlighting it. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Here's this. There we go. I'll zoom in a little bit. Make it slightly easier to read. There we go. Hope that's good enough. So the way that this is set up is basically I introduce myself first, although I might change that. So this is like a draft script that I've written for this purpose already. But I want to change it up a bit because I'm not 100% sure if I'm fully happy with it yet. I really like the VSL I made for my website. But it's just a little too long. So I had to change it up a little bit. And I still want to provide value. So basically, what I have to do in 3 minutes is introduce myself, give them a reason to keep listening, give them some kind of value related to the offer that I'm going to offer them, and then give them a reason to reply to me. So the way that I've done that is the hook is to get them, is to say, I have an interesting idea that I could send to them. This could be a little bit more powerful, I would say. And then I gave a quick description of who I am, because a lot of people think, well, who the hell is this guy? Why should I listen to him? So I thought I'd give a little bit of an explanation of what I do. So I help niche, which will be landscapers, fill their calendars with serious buyers every month so they can focus on growing their business instead of worrying about getting clients. So my main offering is I want to save time, not necessarily get people more clients, because I don't want to work for people who are like doing really badly, because it becomes a completely different thing, because they expect so much more of you. It's like, how do I explain it? When you work with people who aren't doing as well and they have less money, then for every cent they spend, they expect more. And that's understandable. You know, I was exactly the same way when I was poor, and I'm still that way now. I'm not super wealthy or anything. So that makes it much more difficult to work with these people, because let's say I'm doing something like running ads. If they're spending like most of their money, their hard-earned money, to try and run ads and to pay me, they're going to be super upset if the results don't come very fast. And there's also higher expectation for stuff to work out. But the thing is, if a person doesn't have a good offering and they don't have an established business, what ends up happening is I have to take on more jobs than just getting attention for their business. I primarily run ads and do a little bit of marketing. Like I help people craft better offers and stuff too. But I can't fix someone's entire business, at least not for the amount that I would be getting paid, because it just wouldn't be fair. You know, if one guy's paying me $1,000 a month to run their ads, and another guy is paying me $1,000 a month to run their ads, fix their offers, fix their back end, make sure their client experience is good, talk to clients, nurture them. It's just too much, and it's not fair. It's not fair on on me primarily. It's not fair on the other guy because he doesn't get that. So you want to make sure that you avoid that. So yeah. So just to circle back to the point I was making, is my offering is to save time and not get clients, because what I've noticed is that when you offer to get people clients, you have a lot of people reach out to you who don't have almost any clients. And that is a very difficult person to work with because of reasons I just explained. So by switching up my offer a little bit to be, well, I'll save you time so you can grow your business. Now, instead of attracting the people who want more clients, which would be the more broke people usually, I'd be attracting the people who have a lot of clients and they're busy and don't want to get clients themselves because they don't have time. These people are going to have more clients, a more established business, a better, more attractive offer, and will be easier to work with. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. So that's the goal there. So, and then, so here's the challenge. So I said that I want to find a way to keep their attention. So this is how I'm doing that. I offer them to buy them a cup of coffee if they feel like I wasted their time. Now, obviously, I don't expect anybody to actually take me up on that. And most people wouldn't. Most people who have a business, it would probably be more effort for them to corroborate this coffee than just ignoring it. But what it does is it signals to people that you are more trustworthy. It's like slight manipulation. You're using it to try and get people to be more open to listening to what you have to say, and it gives them a reason to continue on, because it's like, okay, haha, sure, he'll give me the coffee if this 3-minute video is worthless. So now you have a bigger incentive to actually finish the video. So that's the idea there. So the next part is basically just a shortened version of what's in my longer sales letter, which like it's just not as good, because basically this primarily focuses on the benefits and telling them what they could do and how they could benefit. But in the longer version, in the longer video sales letter, I also say, okay, well, why are the alternatives bad? Why don't you want to do the alternatives? I would discourage other options. I'd be like, well, you're busy, or maybe another agency screwed you over that didn't really know what they were doing, or nobody kept you in the loop of what was happening. Or maybe you had to do a lot of work still. I also say, well, you could do it yourself, but that takes a bunch of time, and you're a busy business owner trying to run your business. So I would include all of that, but because it's 3 minutes, I don't really have a lot of time to do this. I also want to set it up in a way that I can make one video, because I want to use their names to further make them listen. Now, I don't know how big of a difference that would make. I could test that with enough people. But typically, people prefer when you use their names. So, I want to make some kind of video where I can edit it together so that I have like basically the full thing done. But then every time a new person replies to our email campaign and says yes, that I can just record the small clip, the small little snippet of their name at the beginning, and just stitch it to the rest of the video. Simple way to copy it over, so I wouldn't have to do it every time. Now, I don't know if that's going to be possible every time. Maybe I could also use their website and stuff, but again, that's something I could kind of edit in. I could have the talking head version done. So like this, the way that it's set up right now, I would have like the full screen, just me. I would record that. When I have that done, I could talk about going to their website and looking at their thing, but not actually have anything there. And then when I'm editing, I could just record a separate clip of that and import it over. Now that would take me a little bit more time, but again, it would feel more personal. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I have to consider that. Now, I don't know if I even want to do this on stream, just because it might be a little bit distracting for me from actually being able to talk. But you kind of get the idea. Like, I've already explained what you can expect, what kind of thing you want to do. It's just now that if I start working on this, I'm gonna be quiet because I need to think, you know? Thinking out loud, not super my thing, especially when I have the fact that somebody's watching looming over my head and want to keep them entertained. So I don't know. I could try, see how it goes. I only have another half hour to write out. Could also just end a little sooner today, but I usually like to go for at least a couple hours. Yesterday we didn't, but look, it's not gonna work every time. 1 to 2 hours is a decent expectation. And some days it just flies by. Like, oh no, wait, yesterday was not the hour and a half stream. Yesterday was the long one, the 2.5 hour. Yeah, that day flew by. That time went by super quick because I was very focused the whole time, but I also didn't talk as much, so. Oh shit, actually. Oh, I forgot I'm out of reels. I have to make more reels. Shit. Maybe I will end, so I could have some time to think that through. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna make the executive. Fuck it. I'll stay. I could do that later. I'll have enough time probably. Let me just see if I can at least get something going for this. So expect me to be a little bit quieter now. Let me go through this. It wasn't that valuable and was just a complete waste of time. I want to make up for it. Send me your Revolut and I'll buy you a coffee. Okay. So to start, let me know if you relate to any of the following. Are you tired of spending hours on sales calls with people who clearly aren't serious? Have you tried cold calling, emails, referrals, networking, and just wish there was a faster, more predictable way to get clients? Or do you want to scale your business, but you're too busy wondering where your next client is going to come from? So I think in the original, I also had like, have you hired an agency who screwed you? If any of that sounds familiar, you're not alone. What I've found after speaking with dozens of landscaper owners is that the real problem is they're stuck in the old marketing model and haven't moved to the new model. Move to the new model, everything changes. You'll only attract the kind of clients you want to work with and automatically filter out the wrong types of clients. This is true. Of course it's true. It's my offer. You'll also get to decide exactly how many new sales appointments and clients you want to win each month with consistency. The big question is, what is this new model of marketing? Well, that's what I wanted to share with you. You build something called a client booking funnel, a machine that books calls for you automatically 24/7. So instead of you chasing people, they chase you. That's how it works. First, you create an ad that grabs the attention of your ideal customers and you pay some money to Facebook to show it to them. The great thing about Facebook is that once you get a good ad running, you can decide how many appointments you want to get every month. For example, let's say it costs €50 to get one booked sales call. If you want 10 calls a month, you spend 500. If you want 30, you spend 1,500. It's that simple. When people click on the ad, they get sent to a page which offers them a free solution to a painful problem they have in exchange for their email and name. They give you their name and email and get redirected to a page which has a solution to that problem, like, for example, a video teaching them how to fix it. They watch the solution and think, this is great, but I don't have time for this, or I don't know where to start, etc. And because they want help implementing it, they book a call with you to learn more. Those who didn't book right away will get frequent automated emails giving them more value while reminding them that you could solve their problem for them. That's it. It's kind of like having a salesperson that can speak to your potential customers anytime, any day, 24/7. And I really mean that. For example, here's a screenshot of my calendar all one weekend. I got 3 new booked sales appointments in my calendar, and one of them was at 3:15 a.m. Now, I would never be able to have a call with someone at 3 in the morning, but the free video I made was able to do the selling for me. So it really is like having a salesperson working for you 24/7. The system builds trust, educates your audience, and gets them to raise their hand, all without you lifting a finger. So can you see the difference this would make in your business if you get appointments on demand every single month? Imagine how much time and energy you'd save not having to chase people, take calls with time wasters, and work with people who are incredibly difficult to work with. Imagine no longer worrying about where your next client will come from and when. Imagine knowing exactly how many appointments and clients you'll win every single month. Like I said, if you think this totally sucks and I just wasted your time, let me know and I'll get you that coffee. But if this sounds interesting, just say so and I could look over your current setup or even mock up a version of this would look for you, no strings attached. Either way, hope this was helpful. I look forward to hearing from you soon. You know what? This is actually fine. I actually thought it was worse than this. I might just run with that. I don't know what more I would add or take away from this. I guess I just need to record it. Yeah, I'm gonna mark that for myself on my work plan, which you could see here. Is all the shit I gotta do in my business. You see my stream to-do list sheet as well. Where is it? My VSL. I even have it written here. Create template for training the client on how to use the system. Outreach. Google Maps scraper automation. Invoices. I don't even have that written here. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna make a side note for it. VSL is done. I just need to film it. Let me add that. I'll just add it to the list. This is my side. Film, email, VSL. I'll send to clients. System. The script is done. Just need to film and yeah, just need to film and think of how to fit with whatever. Okay, and that's something I gotta do. So that's that. Find out how I'm gonna host the videos. That's something that we gotta do. Find out how we're gonna host the videos. Now I gotta think about it because it's like, I don't know how many. Let me just look at their plans. Take a look at Vimeo or something. Now let's look at the how many videos can you, yeah, so how many videos can you post on Boom? You can host 25 videos. Each has a recording limit of 5 minutes. Because YouTube hosting is free, but the problem with YouTube is ads. So we don't want to send people to ads because some people might see them and just go like, I don't have time for this, screw this, and click off. So I need something without ads. Do they have a pricing thing? Starter. Recordings per person up to 25. Screen recording length. I think the problem is actually you can't private the videos. Like you can't choose who to share with, so they're all public, which would be a problem. Because then they would just see that the video is copy pasted, and we don't want that. Is that the case? Or was that on Vimeo? Maybe that was on Vimeo. It might have been. Can you choose who share video files with on the starter plan? I think that's just something I'm gonna have to do to open up to find out. Let me see if I have a Loom account. Check it out myself. I do, look at that. Okay, so record a Loom. Here's what's here. I'd probably have to upload a video then to test that out. You know what, in that case, I'm not gonna bore you with this. I'll figure that out on my own end. Anyway, weren't too productive today. Talked a lot today instead. Be a little bit more productive tomorrow, maybe. I have some stuff I gotta do in the background. Like I gotta film that VSL that we're gonna send as part of email outreach, and I'll show you that once that's done. Then what do I have to do next? Maybe I'll set up that never bounce system so that we get more emails out of the leads that we scraped. And besides that, I need to film social media content for the next week. So that's gonna be fun. Oh, I hate doing that. Bro, how's life? Life is good, brother. It's Deza. What's up, man? How you doing? We're wrapping up here, but you're welcome. You're still welcome. Oh. What you up to? What have you done today? Might as well go into the main cam. And the quality looks so much better now. It's great. What business model are you working in right now? I am running a digital marketing agency. We run paid Facebook ads and help people create no-brainer offers so that more customers want to take them up on their offer. How about you? Do you have a business? You know what? Actually, that kind of reminds me. I really dislike how, because of the amount, like, there's a lot of, what's the right word? I feel like digital marketing nowadays gets kind of like a bad rap from some people because of the amount of scams that are out there. It's such a frustrating thing because I'm trying to run a legitimate business, but because there's so many people that are out there that are just doing it willy-nilly, don't really know much, don't have the knowledge of like how to improve their ads and whatnot, and they just scam people. It makes it like tougher. I hate seeing it too. I hate those people, especially the ones that are selling like those $20 marketing courses that are just complete BS, filled with information you can just easily find online in 5 minutes of research. It's just disingenuous, but that kind of shit makes it harder. No, I want to start, but I don't know where to start from. Well, do you have any skills that you have? Are you good at anything? Do you know more than the average person about anything that people buy? That's a good place to start. The first place to start is always the skill. And well, I guess you could argue that the first place to start is try to figure out what skill is valuable. But most people have some kind of skill already, and I would always encourage people to just go with that because you can sell anything. It's more about your ability to sell and how good you are. Those are really the two big important factors in business. How good you are at selling and how good you are at what you do. So, do you have any skills in anything? Yeah, I need to film content. I'm gonna make a note for myself. Making reels for the week is actually going to be a little bit easier for me since starting this because I'm gonna just run a series based off of these live streams, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I don't know what my skills are. Well, is there anything you think you know about more than the average person that people actively buy? Like, as an example, say you're really fit and you know a lot about fitness and people buy fitness. So that would be a good thing you could do. Although being a personal trainer seems kind of tough nowadays. It's not impossible. You use the right strategies and then the right lighting to make yourself look as ripped as possible. Film, email, so use in email campaign. I was also thinking of expanding to Google Ads. That's probably going to take a while. And I'd rather just sell Facebook ads first. I think I know how to sell stuff. If you're good, okay, you think you're what do you mean you think you know how to sell stuff? Do you know or do you not know? How is that? I don't know if that's much of a think question. Unless you're only saying that because you have confidence issues. Which is possible. That happens. Some people, even very knowledgeable in certain fields, can phrase stuff like that when they're not fully confident. Selling stuff is not probably turn that into a business. That'd be an interesting thing to pitch. Like, hey, we'll do your sales for you. Nah, bro, I'm still in school right now and I want to learn skills. If you're still in school and you want to learn skills, just look at what's happening in the world now. Knowing how to use AI is probably going to be pretty valuable. So maybe something like programming would be a good idea. I have a question for you. Do you know how I can start a halal online business? I have no idea what a haram business would be. So I don't really know how to tell you what a halal business would be. I don't know much about Islam. I have no idea what's allowed and what's not allowed. So I really can't. I'm the wrong person to help you with that, brother. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm from Lithuania, but I spent most of my life in Ireland, and now I live in Spain. I mean, is there any restrictions in Islam as to what you can do for a business? Is Islam one of those religions which doesn't allow usury? Let me see. Okay, well, don't start a bank. It does not allow usury. Okay, so don't run a bank. Don't lend money. That'll be haram. This is probably this is probably something you can ask ChatGPT, honestly. Let me see what AI says about this. I'm kind of curious now. Avoid prohibited sectors like the fuck? Oh, I think that's the. Is that a package I have to answer for? Might be. What day is it today? Is it Tuesday? It is. I think this is for me. Alright, well, good time to end. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I appreciate you doing your research for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm always open to learning. I find it interesting. Anyway, if you have any more questions, feel free to DM me. I'll see if I could help you out with something. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Bye.